going on, guys? This is Nick from Twila Valley Motorsports and
Braxton with Twila Valley Motorsports.
So we've got a couple cool Maverick R Max builds going on. So really wanted to show these off. This one's going to some good friends of mine. They did some really cool stuff, some custom color on it, some nice underglow, wheels, tires. They've got skid plates underneath it, big stereo, Evo parts. So we'll walk around this. I'll show you a little bit more about it. Now the navy blue car behind us is a customer of Braxton's. I'm not as familiar with that build, so Braxton's going to go over it a little bit with us and show you a little bit more about it. But it's been a lot of fun. We've been doing a lot of these Maverick R 4-seaters. They're really starting to take off. You know, the machines are finally arriving at the dealership. We're finally starting to get some volume of them, some quantity of them, and there's a lot of good aftermarket accessories already for them, and consumers are making use of that and building out really nice spec cars and getting out and enjoying them. So on this one, now this starts life as a Maverick RX model, so a lot of you guys are familiar with Maverick R trims, but for those of you that are not, the X trim is going to be a step up where it gets the full paint and hydro dip bodywork, so it gets that nice triple black color configuration. It's going to get the 10.25 touchscreen. It's going to get those 4-point inertial harnesses in all 4 seats. But the difference here on an X versus an XRS is the rear shock is going to be a 2.5-inch body QS3. The front, of course, is still the same 2.5-inch body, but it's going to be a QS3, so it's going to be those 3 selectable compression adjustments versus like an XRS that's going to have a little more adjustment range there. We're actually finding that this 2.5-inch body shock works really well. It's got a lot of compliance, rides really nice, and in some ways on like a little bit smaller stutter chop, it's a little bit smoother. It's not quite as stiff on the initial. So it's actually a really good setup. This model's been really popular for us, and we've seen a lot of people really enjoy this car. Now this one, the big thing here, of course, our friends down at Twila Powder Coating, Colton, did a great job on working with the customer to get a custom color. This is like a teal color. I don't know that it's seafoam type color. It's got a shattered glass overlay, and you can see the full roll cage, factory roll cage was done in that color. We've got the chupacabra mirrors. Now this was a customer selected option. We don't typically do a lot of chupacabra parts, but we're probably going to start doing some more. I really like these mirrors. They have a great look to them. We're really heavy on assault products, but I think these are a great option. They're a little bit bigger, and I really like how we were able to powder coat it. It has a little more color to it to kind of give it that two-tone pop, even doing the handle there, so it's just got that blend. I really like how that came out. Now this has also got an 8-pod underglow kit, so you can see the pods are on. It's got a lot of underglow. It looks really good. Customer is going to be a little more in the off-road, desert, crawling, wanted to get the machine up off the ground, so they elected to go with a 35-inch tensor and then a Method wheel. So Method now has these wheels available for the Maverick R on the 6-lug. Looks really good. The offset's pretty minimal, so it's not widening the car too much. So one thing on the Maverick R that's hard with the wheels and tires, you really don't want a big offset on the Mav R. It's already really wide at 77 inches factory, so if you really stance it out, it gets big. You can't get in trailers, can't get in places. So keeping that offset pretty minimal like Method's done, we really like that. So it looks really good there. Now on the inside, we did a 6-speaker stereo. There are 2 10-inch subs underneath the front 2 seats, and then we have 2 6.5-inch in-dash and 2 6.5-inch towers. Also, something that was really cool on this build, it also has heated seats, front and rear. So all 4 seats are heated. Of course, these guys have littles. They wanted to keep their family warm and happy. We're going to be riding in the winter. We got a New Year's trip coming up, and this machine will be on that trip. So pretty cool to have heated seats in this one. This is the first Maverick R 4-seater we've done with heated seats, so love to see that. Of course, we've got the MB whips on it. Those always look nice little touch. Evo parts out back. So we've got charge tubes and blow-off valve on this one. I'm sure this machine will be getting an exhaust with some time. Also has all the factory Can-Am rock sliders. Now, they don't actually have a full rock slider in UHMW or HMW yet, but this one did get the A-arm guards and the trailing arm guards, as it will be playing in the rocks some, especially on the New Year's trip down to Sand Hollow. So widely, just a really nice build, has some custom touches. This one came together really nice. Super excited to get this one to my friends. They'll spend a lot of time riding with me, so can't wait to get out on the trail and make some memories with them and their family. So moving back to this navy blue car, Braxton, this is your customer, and tell me, what did they do on this one? I can see a few different odds and ends, a winch, that's kind of uncommon for us. So where does this customer intend to ride this car, and what are they doing on the build?
This guy will do a little bit of a mix between the sand dunes and desert. You see, went with the assault mirrors. Went ahead and went with the OEM 4500 winch. Also, customer went with rugged radios their new setup with the top dash mount.
So what's different on that rugged radio top dash mount? Where were they mounting them prior? And you know, I think this looks really nice. I like how that came together.
Before, sat under here, had to cut dash, so just a little bit cleaner, easier install. We've also went push to talk on the dash. Driver passenger, kind of neat. It's all just built in right here with your rocker. Headsets through all 4 seats. Finishing up with the rear cargo rack. MB whips. Yeah, pretty cool car. Pretty cool car.
Smart shock car or non-smart shock car on this one? I guess I didn't look all that closely.
Smart shock car.
It is an SS car. So most of your sales have been smart shock, non-smart shock. What are you seeing for most of your customer deliveries?
We're getting a little bit of mix. A lot of smart shock, a lot of smart shock.
And my understanding is you have a new Maverick R 4-seater sitting around here somewhere.
I do, and I'm very excited for it.
What'd you go with?
I went with the yellow XRS Max.
Purist, the OG colors, the yellow.
Complete yellow.
What do you have planned for your build? I know you're pretty excited about this one. You came off of a 2020 X3.
Yes. Going to do a lot with Evo, Method wheels, Corbin Street legal, a lot of OEM skid plates. So still kind of in the mix, but excited.
Well, as a lot of you guys know, primarily we ride the sand dunes, but we love to hit the rocks and do some crawling in the, we do the Memorial Moab trip. We also do the Sand Hollow New Year's trip. And, we get these cars out on the rocks, and I'm really excited to see my Mav R 2-seater did really well in both of those places, and it crawled really well. And I don't expect anything less from the 4-seater. It's a 40% lower low gear on the 4-seat Maverick R, and I think it's going to crawl really well there. The ground clearance actually feels pretty good despite its length. I was actually surprised at how little it'll drag its belly. Last time I was out of the dunes, we were going over some pretty sharp things running out to the rock pile, and I thought it was going to drag its belly, and there was probably 15 times that it could have, and it only drug one time. So I was pretty impressed with how good the ground clearance is on this machine. It carries itself really well. The more time we're getting with them, the more we're finding how nimble it really is despite its size and its length. I'm pretty impressed with how well this car runs, and you spent some time in mine, and I think that was one of the things that kind of kicked him over to want to do the R 4-seater. It's
big deciding factor. It's an awesome car. I'm very excited.
Yeah, and it rides good too. It's just the ride quality is. It's a big car and it's got a ton of travel, so it just rides so good. So it's gonna be a lot of fun. We're gonna continue to produce these builds, and it's awesome to see customers coming in and designing their cars and doing some unique stuff. And of course, we're getting ours out. We've got Braxton's coming down the pipe, so it's gonna be a lot of fun. And if you have any questions on anything Can-Am really, but in particular Maverick R 4-seater, please give us a call at the dealerships, 435-850-7618, and we'd love to answer those questions for you and get you out riding. We'll see you out on the trail.